This is Machuka Nyarieko TV talk show where we analyze socio-economic and political issues with an aim of providing specific ideas that can be used by individuals, even policymakers, politicians in making their decisions if they so wish. And today I will focus on Uhuru's expected demands from Gachagua once they reconcile, or what will be on the table, on the reconciling table. Before I give some of the reasons, or I explain what is expected to happen, kindly, if you are watching this channel for the first time, subscribe so that whenever we produce another video, YouTube will automatically notify you. And for the residents, subscribers, thank you for standing with us. Continue watching and sharing. Share as many as you can to many groups, to many, each group, social, welfare, because what we provide are simple ideas. They have no limits. They can be shared to any group. These are ideas that can guide our people in decision making. We literally call this channel the house of ideas. Back to our topic. I'm back to the Gachagua Uhuru reconciliation plan. Yesterday we did make an episode on their imminent, anytime planned reconciliation or expected reconciliation, and today I want us to focus on what are the expected demands. What will Uhuru expect from Gachagua? What will Gachagua also expect from Uhuru? Of course, I will begin from what is expected from Uhuru to Gachagua. First, public apology. There have been issues since the last general election. Even before elections were held, Gachagua was at the forefront fighting the then president Uhuru Kenyatta in all ways and means. He fought him till he won. And in such a fight, there are some words that can be spoken, bad in most cases because it's politics. So this is the apology that is likely to be put on the table first before anything else. And the manner in which this apology comes is once you meet. When you meet, it means you already have forgiven one another, and that's why you are now coming to the same table, or you have some ideas that you can share, but because you have been different in ideas, then you have to come back, apologize, and then decide on one way forward. Even though the apology is not of any friendly nature, the apology is political because their differences are purely political. It's not an enmity. if you think that Gachagua is an enemy to Uhuru Kenyatta, you are wrong. That is simply political differences. That's why Gachagua is very free. He can shout in marketplaces that, can I talk to our brother Uhuru Kenyatta? And the people will always have been shouting that, go ahead and do what? And talk to him. So that's why I'm saying that, hey, it is purely an ideological difference, because some wanted to get power and others wanted to retain power. So there was no enmity. It is all power struggle so that they can be in a position whereby they can allocate the resources. So Uhuru Kenyatta will demand for public apology to him and to the family of Kenyatta and to the people of Mount Kenya, despite the fact that I've said Gachagua was not seen. That was all about politics. Politics, you do not praise your opponent. Second, Uhuru will wish the reintroduction of the PPI. He'll tell him, introduce the PPI, because they had some issues that they wanted to put forward. Like now the issue of 1 shilling, 1 man, 1 vote can not work if it's not taken through parliament or the referendum. So in this case, you will advise him reintroduce the PPI. But remember, Uhuru's desire for the PPI is not simply because of the 1 man, 1 vote issue. No, Uhuru knows very well that even if you go in for the 1 man, 1 vote, he knows the level at which the economy can reach, because he has been the president of Kenya. Uhuru, his aim of PPI is to ensure that he gets back to the national right. The reintroduction of the position of a prime minister will greatly favor Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, because if we go with the model of whereby parliaments, after an election of members of parliament, the MPs elect the prime minister, and since Mount Kenya is full of members of parliament, it means Uhuru will get back as a prime minister, and actually, if possible, rule forever. You have seen countries in which they have twisted the constitution, and some few individuals are now prime ministers, and they have been there since we were a child. So Uhuru can easily get to that position and rule forever, because he will be able to manipulate the people of Mount Kenya. So he will tell him to reintroduce the debate on the PPI. Some aspects, they may change a name, they may change the forest, but nyani ni yure. Yes, they will bring those demands that they wanted. Already they have started with the one, which is the 1 man, 1 vote, and then they will introduce the one for the prime minister. and ask for a constitutional review. And of course, I've said the reason behind this, because politics is all about interest, is the son of Jomo coming back to power. And he will also ask Gachagua, because he's in the government and is in number 2, to ensure that the projects that he had started, especially in Mount Kenya, and that have been soaring, have been funded. Because there is that argument in Mount Kenya today that some of the projects that were started by Uhuru Kenyatta have been stalled. But of course, you know how these others argue. They say that this Uhuru who ruined the economy, so he should not complain. But on the table, it's expected that they will talk of the stalled projects in Mount Kenya, and which were started by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And of course, the issue of 2027 will also be on the table. Uhuru is likely to demand that Gachagua goes for the top position in 2027, not 2032, in 2027. Remember that Uhuru has been frustrated by the government because his retirement benefits have not been fully allocated to him, because they have been giving him as medicine, retro by retro. Much of it remains with the government. If a budget is of maybe 500 million, they will end up receiving even less than 30 million. So they are not happy. They are not happy. They will want the government removed in power. This is an opportunity. This is actually an opportunity that Uhuru has seen, whereby he can serve Ruto one term presidency. And that's why Ijungwa is talking about it so much. He knows the powers when the two individuals can meet, what they can do. So they will talk about 2027 general election, and Uhuru may bring in the idea of his friends like Matiang'i, tell him I have a son there whom I wanted, I have a brother whom I wanted to have this position. But because we were with the Mzee Raila, I saw that he's young, just that they had said, you can work with him. And Uhuru will also request him or demand that he rejects unpopular government policies, including the 2024-2025 financial bill, which is unpopular because of the taxes. Most people feel that the government is getting too much involved in the affairs of the people. While, to my own and honest opinion, government should have a minimal interference to people's affairs. So this finance bill is a nightmare to most people in MK, that's Mount Kenya, because most of them are businessmen, and they will be affected. They will be affected so much if the finance bill sees the light. So they will also tell him not to resign, but fight from within the government, as his debut president did. You know, when you fight from within the government, you are so strong, you have the resources, you'll move from one place to another with the security required, and no one can deny you that, because it goes with the office of the president. He will also ask him in the future to use the Jubilee Party, something that I know Gachagua may not agree with him, but he will, once such an issue comes on the table, Gachagua will simply say that this one we shall discuss it as we move by. Let's form a committee to look. Let's form a committee now to show that it's now getting. They are now agreeing. Let's form a committee of my people, whereby maybe we have Gakuyo. We may have people like the governor from Nyeri, and then you bring Mother Karua, Jeremiah Kioni, and Wakina Morade remain there as patrons watching from a distance in a minor commander. So they love to discuss even individuals within the community, and they are all in politics, will be discussed. And also he will tell him how he succeeded in pushing out, what he failed, and how he succeeded in pushing out with his desires. You know, politicians will always speak, will always tell each other, you know, when you did this, that was where I was able to step and move forward. That's how I succeeded in bringing or moving the Mount Kenya back to Ruto. You know, we could not access you, and Ruto was easily available. Yeah, that was the mistake. Otherwise, you were very wonderful. The only mistake, you were inaccessible. They will speak. So the issue of joining Jubilee will be a story. And then, of course, even Gachagua will have some of his demands. One of the demands that Gachagua is likely to put forward is to request the head of state, former head of state, Uhuru Kenyatta, to tell his brigades, because when Limuru 3 conference happened, they said we are behind Uhuru Kenyatta as our spokesman. So Gachagua is likely to request him to tell his brigade to cool down, and if possible, Gachagua will propose to him that he becomes a patron from Mount Kenya, and let the position of a spokesman remain to a person who is very active in politics and senior most from the mountain, and because of other communities, other affiliate houses within Mount Kenya, that will be an opportune time to look that other houses like the Igembe, the Tharaka, the Meru, the Embu have a stake in spokesmanship, meaning that they can even propose that they will have representatives who will work in collaboration with the spokesman, can have a kamukunji of the region. Gachagua will also, I've spoken of the issue of a patron. He will request him to be the patron from the community, that's from the mountain, and he will as well may request him to talk to Kalonzo Musyoka so that he can join him, or he can woo them to come back to the mountain, because they did separate themselves from this other group. So they are likely to also discuss Kalonzo Musyoka, and maybe that will be the opportunity whereby Uhuru will tell him, you see now, that's why I'm saying that we need to have a referendum so that we can create a position even for people like Kalonzo. How will you be able to navigate into leadership if key persons like this man is not given or is not seeing a very prime position? So they will have that opportunity to talk about Kalonzo Musyoka and many other leaders in the Eastern at large. They talk about Charity Ngilu, Mutua Alfred, and of course you saw Johnston Muthama is also dissatisfied with the UDA government, so they say it's now time you bring those people so that we can be a bigger number, and then we can also look at other people territories so that we move forward as one theory. On the issue of who is to be who in Mount Kenya, of course, Uhuru, what he needs is just respect from Gachagua, because Gachagua is already in that position. What he may need from him is that respect, actually, as more other people like this old man like minor commander may just want to see some respects from the Gachagua and his brigade. So they'll just agree to move as a team, but when they move as a team, remember these are about 3 years to 2027. It doesn't mean they will just stick as a team. All that is important is the navigation between now and 27. How will they be able to navigate between now and 2027. I will do an episode probably after them meeting, after Gachagua and Uhuru Kenyatta meeting, on how they should navigate between now and 2027 with the masses of the people. Thank you so much.